weekend we are in Table Mesa, Arizona for the last Great American Crawl Stop of 2021.
Arizona was everything that I've heard Arizona was. Rocks extremely sharp, and they said they were like narrow, like wash trails essentially, and they weren't lying. There are spots it is like car width wide.
Something I was surprised is the rock has a phenomenal amount of grip, and you're always down in an extremely narrow kind of valley gulch type thing. So that was very unique and very cool.
And dusty. It's been very dusty.
So dusty, so dusty. I was like caked by the time we got back each day.
It's me, Casey. We made it to Table Mesa, Arizona. It's gonna be a good day. It's windy. It's all hell. My eyes already burned, but it's gonna be a good day. I feel it. Good day. Let's do it.
I needed a cage and I needed seats and harnesses because the stuff we've been getting into, I probably should have had a long time ago. Are you serious? I had flown out for a little while. We got the cage started, but we weren't able to finish it by the time I left.
That was a long time. That was a learning experience. We've never built a cage before. Props to the guys that do it.
Dude, oh, it says Ride the Rubicon in here. So I did get my cage and I did get my seats and harnesses, but I got a lot of extra stuff too on here. Why'd you have to do all that? I didn't know that they were gonna have time to wrap it. So when I got out and I saw it, I was just blown away. Like it looked totally different and in a good way. The seats are beautiful, oh my gosh. And you know, I didn't really have any yellow in the interior, so I kind of wanted to tie that in with the seats and the harnesses as well. I could not be happier with the outcome of it. I've felt 110% more comfortable in my vehicle. Alex and Nick both like pulled it off, blew it out of the park. Like I was just like in awe. Like I still am in awe. Like I look at it, I'm like, this is mine? Like, no way, you know? I'm ready to go.
And the Arizona desert is very unforgiving.
Very unforgiving. From the bushes that will attack you every single time you get out of your Jeep, to the granite shale and the crushed rock that's gonna grab a hold of your sidewalls every time you take a turn. We have a lot of washes, a lot of waterfalls, and a lot of ledges.
I thought it was a great trail. Didn't know what to expect, but once you got out there, it was like, this is a cool trail.
There was a lot of climbs. It was a little strange because you look at some of the rocks and you think that it's going to be slick, and you have a lot more grip than you actually think. There's a few that were on 35s. I think that was the smallest tire we had, but we had all kinds of experienced wheelers with us, and everyone had a good time. I love Billy, man. You know, when you find your people, you know it, right? It's just kind of right off the bat. I was like, this guy's my people. He's an LJ. He's already okay with me. We're good.
There was a lot of lines that you're like, this doesn't look real good, but the rock out here was amazing. I mean, you stick to it.
Yeah, the trails, like you get in there and some of them, you kind of feel claustrophobic just because you have like rock walls right next to you.
That line right there, bud. Keep that line right there. That line. Behind the line. The line's over here. I always make jokes about the East Coast fat shaming me with my width. And Arizona literally is cousin to the East Coast because it literally fat shamed me all weekend.
Oh yeah.
You go, Chris! That's what I'm talking about! That's why we like Chris.
I wasn't too overly concerned because I'm so wide. I mean, with the tires hanging way out there, I wasn't too concerned about it. Of course, there's always that, might get some body damage, you know, but it's expected. I mean, you don't ever come out and wheel something like that, and those canyons are just, I mean, you're just like that. And if you mess up, boom, mirrors folded in, you know, you're right there, you know, so I kind of a little nervous, but it's like, what do you expect when you're out here doing this kind of stuff?
Sadie went on Anaconda. She told me afterwards it's not a trail she would purposefully go on again, but she was in it and she always makes her way through. She's more capable than she realizes, and the Jeep is as well. So she always comes out in pretty good shape and makes it look pretty easy doing it.
Where'd Ari go? She's camouflaged. I think the only problem we had that day was Alex was still chasing his starter gremlin. He's been chasing that for the last 2 or 3 events.
Yep.
I came in and mine's a manual again. Like I put a new clutch in it because we kind of burned it up a little bit in Colorado, and we definitely burned it more this weekend. And it was one of those things where like I barely hit the clutch at one point and it just slammed me back down.
I couldn't see your hand. So basically,
So ultimately I kind of dropped in on a pocket and it slammed down pretty hard and knocked something loose.
I think I knocked the starter off.
And it's electrical, of course. And we got it started and we thought we fixed it.
Hi, how you doing?
Kim was killing it. I think her and Ron have known each other for a while, so he was like, they worked together a lot on the trail, so he was getting her through and everything. The communication was on point. But yeah, she was like in one of the smaller rigs and she was killing it.
Nice.
She made it through everything, and not everybody can do a manual that. When you're hanging on a rock and you gotta keep it moving at the same time without killing it and messing up, she did outstanding.
So I actually knew Julie from Instagram, and so when I saw that she signed up, I was super excited because the community is my favorite part of it. You meet so many awesome people, and she was one of the nicest people I've ever met, and I hope I get to wheel with her again soon.
Nicely done.
I didn't do anything.
Oh my God! You almost had it one shot. Come on. You had it. Now we'll grab this rock and move on a little bit.
I'm a little nervous, but I was also nervous for the first one too, and I think being a little bit smaller, I kind of had that advantage.
Very good, you're good.
I was a little intimidated because I saw everybody else was getting real hung up. It was just a weird, like, twisted rock climb. I kind of feel like I get kicked to the side a little bit, and then next thing I know, I'm like sitting sideways pretty much. That was a fun one for me. Well, you gotta think, the Gladiators, there's some long ass things, you know, like, so getting those through some of these trails out here specifically has been a challenge. He's just long, you know, and he got in the same position, all cocked sideways, and just a little bit of a nick on his door hinge. And as they were winching Chris up, I believe it was his rear sway bar link that let go.
Oh, snap. That's what I'm saying, like, don't go. Oh, snap. There was no body damage, right?
No, but there's both paint.
To be honest,
Everybody was like, oh, Chris is gonna walk through this.
Winch, keep using that winch. Have it suck your front end down. You're clear.
Look at how nice this is. You see this?
Oh, I do like that gold.
Dang.
Wow.
That is true.
Wow.
Her steering wheel disconnect. It is it is better than what's on the Reaper.
I hear over the radio, he's like, hey, Ari, can you come back here? Here he is with a flat tire rolling through. I was like, oh no, you know, so we're like, hey, let's grab the power tank, see if we can't fill this up real quick. It was all sorts of bent up, and it didn't want to hold air because of it. So luckily Julie was kind enough to lend us her spare so that we could at least put that on and get him back to the parking lot. But yeah, Chris.
Her 37-inch spare.
I didn't make it out to the East Coast for the other Great American Crawl, so I was really excited to know that Alex and Ari were gonna be here in Arizona. Alex and I, we have an immediate common bond in that we are manual transmission drivers. The rest of you guys are all cheaters. This guy's got my respect. Like the way he was driving and the way he was controlling that manual, I mean, is like, okay, this guy has had seat time. He knows how to drive and he knows how to push the limits of his car, knows can feel what his car's telling him and what it's doing. So he can take it to the limits and he's not afraid to do so.
That is fun.
James, he went through and tried it, kind of got almost up to the top.
No one's done it yet.
And then we just heard a big pop and no more front wheel spin. So he broke the front output shaft on the transfer case, which is really impressive because it was just a clean cut straight through. And Dan's like, I'm gonna try the middle line. And I was like, because at first we were talking like, what's the hard part? What can we do that's hard? And he kept trying it, and his front end got super light several times. His dad was guiding him, and then they were just kept moving around a little bit, moving around until he got to the perfect lineup, and he just walked it.
Alex is like, oh, why don't you like do this line? And I was like, okay, why not? You know, I'm short and I'm narrow too. So like,
and
there's,
you're light still too.
Yeah, and the lack of weight. There's times where it's very helpful, but then there's other times where like I do want to try a harder line, like get all crazy like the guys do.
Dan's like, I've never seen a two-door try that, but you can go ahead and try. Gave that a few attempts. The front end got very light several times. We rigged up a suck down winch on mine for first time ever to see if that worked, and it helped out. But we didn't make it up the obstacle. I ended up kind of shimmying over and then ended up going on a little bit more left line to where James was at. That one I believe was called Up and Over. It reminds me kind of like Tombstone, how we did in Pennsylvania. So it's like a big rock to where you have to basically climb up and over and then basically tip yourself back down it. It kind of lays you a little bit into the mountainside. So I think that's what he did, but he's got that exo cage, so you don't really, it's an XJ, you don't care, right?
It was such an easy, like, chill trail. I think it put a lot of confidence in all of us that we could just go jump on collateral damage and knock it out quickly later on.
Absolutely. This is a warm-up.
We'll do a quick run. We should be done in an hour and a half. We'll be golden, guys.
Get back in time for the barbecue, everything, right?
And the obstacles they got us into were proper, for sure. They were big.
I think the whole trail is probably like a mile long, mile and a half long, but it's just like obstacle after
And we were
obstacle.
doing really well.
We'd heard a little bit of a noise when we got to the top of that thing, and then in about 3 or 4 feet, that noise got a lot louder.
Gridlocked the trail.
It started getting dark, and there's still people behind me, and we're like, oh, it's getting dark. We need to get out of here.
Scott doesn't wait well. I'm cracking skulls from here on out.
Absolute chaos here today. It's terrible. We got broken tires, broken axles, broken hearts. So I'm just gonna eat jerky and let out some farts.
I really want to play with the cacti.
Yeah, you want one?
Look at that. Don't you just,
You know, if you take a piece and you stick it in the ground, it grows.
yeah. I think it's like highly illegal though to take a cactus.
Yeah,
But,
you're definitely not getting it on the
but
plane.
just look how lovable it looks. Like you just kind of want to hug it.
Yeah, that's true.